Hey Prestonwood families and kids, Kathy with KidZ Ministry here, and I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday for our online worship experience as we continue talking about trust. Now, trust is putting your confidence in someone you can depend on. We're going to keep walking through the life of Joseph, but before we jump into our videos today, let's worship together.
Everywhere that I go, you're there with me. Even in the night when I cannot see, I know you're by my side and I will be just fine. Oh God, you're always good to me. I wanna say thank you, thank you. I will live my life to praise you, and lift you high. Every night and day I'll follow in your ways. I wanna say thank you, thank you. I wanna say thank you, God. Every breath that I take, you give to me. Every brand new day is a blessing. I know you're by my side and I will be just fine. Oh God, you're always good to me. I wanna say thank you. I will live my life to praise you, and lift you high. Every night and day I'll follow in your ways. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you, God. I wanna say thank you for mercy and kindness, for grace that is endless, love and forgiveness. I wanna say thank you for mercy and kindness, for grace that is endless, love and forgiveness. I wanna say thank you. I will live my life to praise you, and lift you high. Every night and day I'll follow in your ways. I wanna say thank you. I wanna say thank you, God. I wanna say thank you, God. I wanna say thank you, God.
That was a sweet worship time. I love that. We all know that life looks a little different these last few days for everyone. And really, a lot of what is going on and happening in our neighborhoods and in our country right now might not make a lot of sense. I mean, let's be real. Who would have guessed that schools would be canceled and that we would be having a KidZ worship experience online, right? But when life doesn't make sense, you can trust that God is with you. And that's what we're learning about today in the life of Joseph. So let's jump right in.
Good morning, it's Haley, and today I am planning to trek 20 miles, so I better get a move on. All right, let's go. Okay, so we're about to reach mile number 1. Right about now. Yes. Not too much to see yet. The trail's pretty flat and dry and just a bunch of moss. Well, nothing too challenging yet, but another beautiful day for a hike. Welcome to mile 5. Yes. Starting to feel the burn a little bit, but I am not ready to give up yet. Experienced hikers like myself can track 20, even 30 miles in a day. I just gotta remember to take little breaks, drink lots of water, and stick to my goal. I got this. Yes. Mile 11. This hike is no joke, people. But the next 9 miles are gonna be pretty challenging. But I'm not too worried. I trust that God is going to get me where I'm going safely. Trust is putting your confidence in someone you can depend on. And I know I can always trust God. And don't you forget it. Woo! 13 miles. Yes. I'm starting to get my second wind. Well, to be honest, it's more like my third or fourth wind, but nothing is gonna stop me now. Oh, ah! Okay, so I tripped. My ankle hurts pretty bad. Hopefully it's just a sprain, but safe to say I won't be hiking anymore today. Why? 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 I don't know what I did wrong. I was trusting God and everything. I didn't think anything like this would happen. In today's story, bad things happen to Joseph too. And he didn't do anything wrong either. Just doesn't make any sense.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story. Inspired by the book of Genesis, chapter 40.
The Bible. It's God's one big story, the epic adventure of how He created us and loved us so much that He found a way to rescue us, even when we turned our backs on Him. As we travel through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Joseph was his father Jacob's favorite son, but his older brothers became so jealous they sold Joseph to traders who took him all the way to Egypt. Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard, became Joseph's master.
You must do whatever I say.
At your service, Sir Potiphar.
Potiphar's wife watched Joseph closely.
You Canaanite scum. Go give the pigs a bath.
Of course, Lady Potiphar.
But God was with Joseph and helped him do well. Soon, Potiphar was given Joseph bigger and better things to do.
Here, take my chariot for a test drive.
Wow, that's the brand new 1836 BC.
Soon, Joseph was in charge of everything Potiphar owned.
Sir Potiphar, your entire estate is in perfect order, from the buffalo pens to your rooftop gardens.
All seemed to be going well for Joseph until Potiphar's wife began testing him.
Well, Joseph, look at you. Big man on the estate. You could do anything you like now.
Potiphar trusts me. I can't do anything against him or sin against God.
But Potiphar's wife didn't give up. Every day she bothered Joseph, trying to get him to do something wrong.
No, I can't.
At last, Potiphar's wife got angry and made up lies about Joseph.
Joseph has done something terrible.
Potiphar was enraged.
I trusted you, Joseph. You let me down.
But I didn't do it.
Throw him in jail.
Even though Joseph had done nothing wrong, the guards hauled him off to prison. The jailer glared down at him.
Parasite, you're probably worthless like the rest of them.
I won't cause trouble, I promise. Here, I'll clean out all this old straw to get rid of the bedbugs.
Somebody get this man a broom.
Just as in Potiphar's house, God was with Joseph and gave him success. Soon, Joseph was in charge of all of the prisoners and everything that happened in the jail. One day, the jailer dragged in 2 new prisoners.
Got a couple of live ones from the palace. Need you to sort them out, Joe.
Joseph took a good look at the 2 men. One was red-faced and beefy. The other was so thin, he looked like the wind might blow him away.
Hey there, I'm Joseph. Who are you?
I tasted Pharaoh's drinks to make sure no one put poison in them.
I was Pharaoh's baker. I make an excellent honey pastry. You should partake of one.
Oh, great. Well, we'll work you in on kitchen duty.
Joseph made sure the new men were welcome and checked on them each day. One morning, Joseph found the drink taster staring into his cup of water and the baker weeping into his gruel.
You seem sad. What's wrong?
I had a dream,
Me too.
but I don't know what it means,
Me too.
and no one else can tell me.
Me too.
Only God knows what dreams mean. Tell me what you saw.
The drink taster scrunched his eyes shut, trying to recall each detail.
I saw a vine with 3 branches that budded and grew ripe grapes. Then I had Pharaoh's cup in my hand, and I squeezed the grapes into it and gave it to Pharaoh.
Joseph smiled. God had given him the meaning of the dream, and it was good.
In 3 days, Pharaoh is going to give you your job back.
Really? Wow.
Please, when you're free, speak to Pharaoh and get me out of prison. I haven't done anything wrong.
Totally, man. I've got your back.
What about me? My dream is good too, right?
Well, I need to hear it first.
Oh, yes, of course. I saw myself with 3 baskets of superb baked goods for Pharaoh on my head. But some insolent birds kept eating my best pastries.
Oh, I see.
So I will return to my former job too, right?
God had given Joseph the meaning to the baker's dream too, but it wasn't happy. Joseph took a deep breath.
In 3 days, Pharaoh will have you taken out of prison.
Yes, I knew it.
And, well, there's no good way to say this. He's going to have you put to death.
The baker stared at Joseph in shock, but there was nothing that Joseph could do. 3 days later, on his birthday, Pharaoh called for both the drink taster and the baker.
Ah, my old drink taster. Take your job back.
Cheers!
And my old baker.
Yes, Your Majesty?
Away with him!
Just as God had told Joseph, the baker was put to death. Joseph was deeply saddened, but he hoped and prayed for the day when Pharaoh's drink taster would remember him.
He promised to speak to Pharaoh for me and get me out of here. Surely he'll do it soon.
But the drink taster forgot all about Joseph.
Will I be stuck in here for the rest of my life? Hey, Joe, I'm getting scratchy again. Could you clear out those bed bugs? I'll get right on it.
Even though Joseph couldn't see how anything that had happened made any sense, he still knew that God was with him. He still trusted that somehow all the pieces would fit together in the end.
Sometimes bad things happen, even when you haven't done anything to deserve it. Just look at the life of Joseph. First, he was sold as a slave by his own brothers. Then he was taken to Egypt. And then he was thrown in jail for something he didn't even do. Joseph was supposed to be one of the good guys. So if God was really with Joseph, shouldn't only good things happen to him? I'll answer for you. Wait, no, I won't. The question's too hard. But why, though? Why? We all know that bad stuff happens. Parents get divorced, friends move away, people die. There are times when God lets us experience pain, heartbreak, and loss. He let Joseph suffer, and he even let his only son, Jesus, feel pain we would never be able to imagine. And Jesus never did anything wrong his whole life. Sometimes we won't always get the answers to why bad things happen. Sometimes life just doesn't make sense. Why? But here's what I do know. When bad stuff happens, we may be tempted to not trust God, but those are the times to be trusting God the most. Because what doesn't make sense to you or to me makes sense to God. He knows everything. And not only that, I know he loves you, and he'll never let you go through bad times alone. So, the one thing to remember today is this. When life doesn't make sense, you can trust God is with you. So, I'm gonna camp here for the night. I'll see how my ankle feels tomorrow. I should be back on the trail by morning, even if I have to use a tree branch as a crutch. So, I'll see you tomorrow, but not while hiking. I need to watch where I'm going. Okay. Come on, got it. Flexible and nailed it.
Can you imagine what Joseph must have felt like being locked up for no reason at all? I know some of you probably feel like you're locked up right now. I mean, with so many things like school and sports being canceled, and you're in your homes. But Joseph was in prison for 10 years before God's plan for his life got him out of prison. And you know what? He didn't have Xbox or YouTube. I mean, for real, y'all, that would be rough. Here's the thing, though, that life doesn't make sense, especially when we try to figure it out on our own. But Proverbs 3:5 says this, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Right now, in our own understanding, life doesn't make sense. But we can trust that the God of the universe is in control and is always with us. Man, thanks so much for joining us today. Be sure to keep checking our social media accounts for resources, fun things to do, and more incredible worship experiences. From everyone here at Prestonwood KidZ, have an awesome week. Bye.